Hey, how's it guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you stand in an open field, look out at the horizon, and trust your immediate senses, the world appears completely flat. And to be fair, it looks flat whether you are standing in South Africa, Australia, Canada, or even either pole. That local illusion is exactly why the flat earth myth survives. It operates on a seductive yet incredibly lazy premise. Trust only what is right in front of your face. But the fatal flaw of this worldview is tucked into the title of my video. Flat Earth works everywhere, just never all at once. The moment you try to connect what two different people see in the sky at the exact same second, or what one person tracks over a single year, the flat model completely collapses. I didn't reach this conclusion by watching other people's videos or arguing on internet forums. My perspective is anchored in reality. Specifically, my coordinates 25 degrees 31 minutes and 4 seconds south by 28 degrees 31 minutes 23 seconds east. For 8 consecutive years, I have observed and tracked and documented the skies from this exact vantage point here in the Southern Hemisphere. And I want to show you how I documented my observations, because a valid model of the universe cannot rely on explanations alone. It must match physical data. The first one is the solstice sunrise shift. And in this one, the horizon is incapable of lying. Take a look at this visual evidence. This is a direct comparison of the sunrise over my horizon from 3 distinct points of the year: the winter solstice in June, the spring equinox in September, and the summer solstice in December. Notice the drastic, undeniable physical shift in where the sun emerges. In June, the sun rises far to the left at an azimuth of roughly 64 degrees east-northeast. By September, it has migrated towards the center, and by December, it has swung completely to the right, rising deep in the east-southeast. And with sunset, the most striking revelation from this visual is the massive horizontal migration of the sunset point along the horizon line. In this example, for 2021, the winter solstice occurred on 21 June. The sun sets at an azimuth of 295.85 degrees west-northwest. In the Southern Hemisphere's winter, the sun's path migrates significantly towards the north. For the summer solstice, which occurred on 21 December, the sun set at an azimuth of 243.55 degrees west-southwest. During peak summer, the sun's path shifts far to the south. As the numbers on the screen indicates, there is a 52.3 degree horizontal shift between where the sun dips below the horizon in winter versus where the sun dips below the horizon in summer. Visually, you can see the sun dipping behind the church roof in June, but shifting all the way over to the tree line on the left by December. Let's move from the sun to the moon because flat earth models handle lunar geometry even worse than they handle solar paths. The flat earth claim is that the moon is just a hovering spotlight a few thousand kilometers overhead, just circling atop a flat plane. If that were true, the laws of perspective dictate that as the moon travels away from South Africa and moves towards the Americas, it must do two things. It must shrink significantly in size as the distance increases, and it must warp into an oblong ellipse, like looking at a coin from a sharp angle. Take a look at this comparison I made when I took one photo in the evening and another photo the next morning, spanning a time of 10 hours and 41 minutes from my own location. Notice two things immediately. First, the diameter of the moon in pixels is identical. Second, the shape is a perfect circle in both frames. It hasn't shrunk by a single millimeter, and it hasn't warped into an oval. If it were a local spotlight moving away from me across a flat ceiling, this consistency is geometrically impossible. The uniform size and perfect circular shape prove the moon is a massive distant sphere, not a local light bulb. But look closer at what did change: the orientation. Between dusk and dawn, the face of the moon cleanly rotated clockwise. Flat earthers will claim the moon itself is spinning like a wheel, but maths and geometry tell a different story. The moon isn't the thing moving here. I am the thing that's moving. Because I am standing on a spinning sphere at 25 degrees south, my personal vertical axis physically tilts as the earth rotates through the night. When I look east in the evening, up relative to my horizon is one direction. When I turn around and look west in the morning, my body has physically tilted through space. My camera didn't just capture a beautiful moon phase, it tracked the physical, mathematical rotation of the Earth itself. Now, let's apply this to the standard flat Earth map, the one where the North Pole is the center and the Southern Hemisphere is stretched out toward the outer rim. On that map, the sun circles around the central North Pole. Because it is always circling a point to our north, the sun must always approach an observer in South Africa from the northeast quadrant at dawn. Mathematically and geographically, on a flat disk, the sun can never rise from the east-southeast. For the sun to rise in the east-southeast on a flat map, it would have to be traveling over the imaginary outer ice wall, completely outside the boundary of the world. My camera doesn't care about conspiracy theories. It proves that in December, the sun rises in the east-southeast. The flat earth model doesn't just fail to explain this, it is completely prohibited by it. My second point: The myth of the accelerating sun. To double down on this solar problem, let's talk about speed, not the movie. Flat Earth theorists claim that to create our seasons, this local sun spotlight expands its orbit to a massive outer ring during our southern summer in December. Basic geometry dictates that if a circle gets larger, its circumference grows. If the sun has to cover a vastly larger outer ring in the same 24-hour day, it would have to physically speed up, traveling thousands of kilometers per hour faster in December than it does in June. Yet, over 8 years of tracking, the sun's angular velocity never changes. It moves across the sky at a completely constant 15 degrees per hour every single day of the year. The sun does not break the laws of physics and accelerates just to accommodate a broken map. For years, the rallying cry of the Flat Earth movement has been a single aggressive phrase: do your research. Well, I took that advice literally. Real research is empirical. It requires a camera, a fixed set of coordinates, maybe a tripod, and lots of time. Because there is so much to say about these topics, I've decided to make it a series. So, this ended up being part 1. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that you made it this far. Please stay safe, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.